3, 2, 1.
Light them up.
I'm Paul.
This is Buck.
This is the Paul and Buck Show.
Hey, the big Buckin deal. Hear us. Download the latest app at paulandbuckshow.podbean.com.
Okay, guys, we're back. Got Paul, Buck,
back.
Big Buck and Deal Show. We're back today. We have another guest. I'd like to say a special guest because I think he's the young gun. You may have been referred to many
on prep track.
On a prep track. You've done topping stuff. He's done topping stuff. So he's a racer of all.
Top Gun.
He's a Top Gun.
Top Gun's coming in. Yeah.
Myself, probably you. We've seen it. I've seen it. A lot of videos on your car.
Yes, I have seen the car.
We'll go into depth about that car and details. And
that's the point of the show. Put the face with the car.
That's it.
If somebody knows the car, like me, example, I knew your car, did not know it was you. But people get the podcast.
Yeah.
You get to see the YouTube.
Yeah, it'll come out and we'll have pictures. And but by all means, go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I'm Dylan Hamilton, 24, Liberty Hill. Got a little.
So you're from Liberty Hill? 512 or 737?
Nah. Well, yeah, at this point, who knows anymore, right?
I know.
I just became a 737 guy here just last week.
You see that around prepaid. Right. It's all good. So, are you born and raised?
Yep, born and raised, Liberty
Born
Hill,
and raised,
Texas.
really?
There you go.
Wow. Well, that's awesome.
So tell me a little bit about Liberty. Liberty Hill has a few of the old school street racers out there. And so you can probably throw a rock and...
Yeah,
pretty much hit 105, right?
At least. So he said that Cord did move to Vernon now. So
it did. So Cord's not over there no more.
Cord's in Vernon,
so Tobar's still over there.
Yep, Tobar still lives in Liberty Hill.
Okay. Who are a few other guys that are out there?
Shane's still, or not Shane. I'm sorry, Shannon. Well, Shane's been around for a long time too. He just took a little break there for a little while.
Right.
Shannon Brown lives out there. Hell, there's so damn many.
Fast guys. Some of the big time racers.
I think Smallwood lives in Bergstrom.
Yeah, Smallwood's in Bergstrom.
Yeah. Okay. So out in that direction. So
that's a nice little stretch of land.
It's a popular piece of land. I mean, it's been getting extremely popular real estate.
You go driving that way, you can kind of see like a facility. It kind of looks like Area 51, man. When you're driving out, like, God damn, it's that far. It's like, but Liberty Hill's cool. I've been out there a few times.
So born and raised. Okay, awesome, man. So. Kind of go down on another question that we like to ask everybody. Of course, what got you into racing? Was it family?
Well, my dad kind of came up with Cord and Eric. My dad didn't race as much as them, just kind of fooled around with his little street cars. But
of course,
what car did your dad have back in the day?
He had a 72 442. Well, he had a 72. He had quite a few of them.
What's his name?
Mosby Hamilton.
I once had to remember the car. So
that was one thing that stands out.
What was his name? Because he hung out with those guys.
Mosby Hamilton.
I do remember the car going back in the day. So that was a fast car. I do remember that. So you come from him. Okay, it's okay. So we're rolling.
Yeah. So rolling. So your father was in it, raised up, got into it. What impressed you? What was your best memory back then that you can recall? I mean, as far as your father or your friends, Cord on them.
Just growing up at the track, because when I was young, I didn't really know what the hell was going on. There's a bunch of loud noises and fast cars.
Did they ever throw you in the back seat?
And then finally one day, I think kind of the turning point. Me and Eric were actually talking about it the other day. Kind of what sold me or what screwed my financial future was.
That's what it is.
There was a weekend we went to Kennedale and took Rick Rivera's car, and Eric took it up there and ran a 490 Index.
Yeah.
And he ended up winning that event. And then
is that where he rubbed a little bit?
No, this was prior to that. I think he rubbed at San Antonio.
Oh, but he did do really well on that one you're talking about.
Yeah, he won the event. Yeah. Yep. And so we went and took the winner's circle pictures, and then once we got done with the winner's circle pictures, it came time to push the car around, go back to the trailer, and I just got to sit in the driver's seat and just steer the damn thing down the track. And immediately I was like, oh, yep, here.
This is what I need.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
I sat in one of Rivera's older, the nuclear frog, and that kind of just did the same thing for me. You sit there, you see the steering wheel right at you. It's like, when will I own one of these?
Yeah, right.
Got a long ways to go, but you eventually, figure it out.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's those are good memories, and,
Yeah.
and like you said, that's the beginning of the end of your savings, if you will.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Oh man, I think I dropped a few bills with those dudes to get my car going faster. Like I need a transmission, I needed some gears and stuff. Those are a bunch of cool dudes to get
absolutely.
to get some experience with, you know. Cause
So I'm assuming Rick painted your car.
Yeah, Rick did paint my car.
oh, did he? Wow.
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah, Rick did some nice paint job. Did
Yeah.
do you remember his old Camaro, a '69 Camaro he used to have?
The One Rat?
No, it was
Oh,
a
no.
'69. It
Oh,
was
the
maroon.
69.
It was maroon. It had some stripes on the side.
Yeah, no, I guess I never saw the 69.
That's the
only
one
know
I
was
remember
the-
for a while. And then his brother had a red Nova Pro Street. They were all Pro Street cars, but
Yeah.
you know those were the fast guys back then.
Yeah.
But man, those paint jobs were just. I mean, they
Oh,
stuck
that's
out.
that's a paint in full right there.
Yeah,
That is true. That is true.
nice. So your car is blue and it's like a metallic.
Yeah, it's ultra blue pearl or
It's
something.
nice.
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't seen it up close, but
Don't look too close. I
From-
haven't taken too good care of it.
from
Rick.
from the
Rick would be
Boogie
too happy with me.
advertising.
Boogie.
Yeah, the car looks really good. It's presentable for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a clean car. It's fast. That's even another top tier car. So going into that, family racing.
Right.
What we ask everybody, what was your first car that you
Yeah, here we
you
go.
owned? I mean,
So I had
non-race car, race car, whatever.
first car or just first.
The hand me down. What was your hand me
What was
down?
your first car?
You're in high school. You're in middle school. What were you at?
So I had a 2000 F250
Oh shit.
Oh,
diesel. That's
Heavy
kind of
duty.
what we
Yeah.
that's kind of what we got into when we were in high school.
Right.
Me and
Yeah.
Cord's son, and because me and Cord's son went to high school
Gotcha.
together.
Yeah.
Just the group we were in, we kind of got into the diesel stuff, and then shortly after that, we realized that it was not the most efficient
That's
way
the
to go.
tow
fast.
truck.
Yeah. Stop,
Yeah.
stop beating on the tow pig.
But granted,
Yeah,
obviously,
leave it alone. Yeah.
those diesels couldn't fly, but like I said, yeah, there were just like the same thing as a race car.
Have you seen those things when they let go? Mm-hmm. Wow, man, they must be
violent.
putting some PSI through those things to
They probably 60 pounds of boost. I mean,
Oh, it's 60 minimum.
minimum, right?
And then you're thinking, the motors are, already 16 and a half, 17 to 1
One
compression.
compression,
That's
yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
cylinder pressure.
you're-
Yeah, I thought one of those. What was it? It's a show where the guy builds nothing but diesel rat rods, hot rods, whatever he builds.
yeah.
the one in Vegas.
Vegas.
I actually, God dang it, what is
Welder
his
up
name?
or-
Welder Up. That's what it
Welder
is.
Up or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's putting a car together, right? And he finds a Cummins or something, and so I thought he's bullshit, man, but no, he was dead serious. 3 superchargers was not enough. He wants a turbo to go through that damn thing. And I'm like, that's not enough, PSI. I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
man. But
that dude is crazy. So this past summer, we went to Vegas and we actually stopped
Go
by
by
his
there.
shop and went to his little showroom. And
Yeah.
that's some cool
pretty
damn
neat
cars
stuff when
he
it comes to
got
diesel
there.
world.
Oh yeah.
No, there's no doubt, man. Diesels are fast. It's that dark smoke, man, that just kind of ruins it. If they didn't do that dark
Yeah,
cloud,
just crank up those injectors. But I mean, when you put it down to the dollars, it's like, okay, spend money on this.
Yeah.
Or we can go spend on a lightweight car.
Yeah.
do just as
You're
much damage.
$60,000 into a truck to go 650. It's like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So did you have fun? Did you take it to the track? Did you ever race it at the track?
I did race my.
did you?
I did race my Ford a little bit, and then I had a Duramax after that because that was the Ford I had was a 7.3, which even after all the
Right,
diesel
you-
stuff, that is definitely not the diesel you're
Leak,
gonna be making power with.
did it leak oil everywhere?
Oh, all the time.
What year was that one?
That's how I knew oil was in it, though.
What year was that
It was a 2000.
Okay, 2000.
Big 7.3, yeah. Those,
So what's the fastest you went in the diesel world? I mean,
So I never got to run at the track with my Duramax, but the little draggy things. I think
Yeah.
I went like an 820 or something on the
The
street. Yeah.
8 mile.
wow. Well, that's still decent,
man,
man.
that's-
I mean, it was fun for a crew cab truck, but
I
at
mean,
the end
that's
of the
like
day, it was
10,000 pounds. I mean, that's or at least or somewhere
It's
out
out
there. I
there.
mean,
They're out there.
Yeah, that's shit. Hey, can't applaud, right? But
Yeah.
but like I said, if you put those dollars into like a 3,200 pound street car, yeah, we're flying, right?
Yeah.
So,
Now you're flying. Yeah, that ain't no 8.
yeah.
Better not be an 8.
Yeah, no. Hope
So
not.
so cool deal. So I mean, understand, right? The diesel, that was a thing. I mean, it was a thing. I mean, people had them, people ran them. You see
Yeah.
black smoke everywhere, right?
It was so bad that they
Stoplights.
actually, what they do, pull some laws out. You couldn't be burning coal or
Yeah, some EPA, something.
yeah. So if you get caught, man, they're gonna freaking take your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember a bunch of
Yeah.
all those decals. Everybody was like anti anti the EPA or
EPA,
something.
yeah.
But that's cool shit.
Well, like I said, ultimately, after those trucks, what was like your first streetcar or street ride?
What was the real hand me down or what that you bought or whatever?
So the next vehicle I got after that was kind of my first hot rod. I got a hold of it was an early 2000s Chevrolet single cab truck because I was still diehard truck guy.
Yeah, of course. So it's long bed, short bed. What do you get?
It was a short bed, single cab short bed.
So you're rolling there, getting in there.
Yeah, and so I had a 4.8, and it just had a 4.8, and I put, I had it for like 2 days, and then immediately called up Texas Speed, cam headers, all the other typical LS truck stuff.
Ran down the online catalog.
Yeah, right. And ended up putting a nitrous plate on that deal. Got to be pretty fun, and then put a turbo on the 4.8, blew the 4.8 up, and then had a 5.3 put together. Blew that motor up, and then I ended up buying the motor that's in my Mustang now. Actually, I'd bought to put in the red truck, and then I was like, I'll just put a nice little 500 horsepower naturally aspirated motor in there and just have a fun little cruiser again. Yeah. And then the opportunity came up to buy. Well, not really the opportunity, but it was actually we were headed up to what was it? I think it was Radial Roundup, and Cord was headed over to Eric's house and seen my car sitting on the side of the road with a $500 in shoe polish written on the windshield. And so I meet up, and Cord was, hey, they found this Fox body, blah blah blah, and then I called the guy, and Matt Gillum, another guy from Liberty Hill, old school street racer.
Actually, he's from Taylor. I know Matt Gillum. I went to school with him. Yeah. Anyway, so.
But he actually ended up buying the car before I was able to get back, and then I bought the car from him, and then then it kind of turned into what it is now.
So you mentioned again, there's another topic that we go into. You went into the turbo world. You bought a turbo. You put it on your truck. What were your growing pains with that? What happened? Why did it blow, or was it just
that was back in the? So I didn't know
Chinese injectors.
No, I had some quality parts. I just didn't really know at that point. I had no idea the difference between my elbow and my ass, and was trying to tune stuff on HP tuners and closed loop, and it just the 5.3 I had running really good on the street. Took it to the track, and on 14 pounds it went. The pass it blew up was at 14 psi, and it went a 764 at like 68 miles an hour because it blew up like 500 foot out. But as soon as I saw steam and oil on the windshield, I slammed on the brakes. I said, "Damn, I wish I would have just let it roll. Maybe see it would go a little faster." But and then after that, I was like,
So to your point, I know where you're going, is that you've had a taste of the boosted side. Yeah. You've obviously have a taste in your nitrous setup. Knowing there are two different worlds, a truck and a Mustang. I mean, but how does it compare? I mean, do you have a liking for one or the other, or is it just? I mean,
I really just I got a liking for horsepower, and when I put my car together, it was originally intended to just be a 7.0 index car that I could drive around on the street, and then I went to the track, and first time out, it went. I think the first pass I made in it was a 679 or something.
Right. And now what cubic inches are you running in there?
It's a 370.
Okay.
It's just a stock, or it's a 6.0 truck motor with 30 over pistons in it is all it is.
So it's an LS based car.
It's an LS based Mustang right now.
I don't know why I was thinking you had a Windsor or some big block Ford or something, but
it's
LS, that's a streetable car. That's a streetable car, basically.
Drive it all over the place anytime you can.
You can drive it all over. So.
What do you run for a transmission on that?
It's got a turbo 400.
400, okay. Well, those cars don't take much to fly fast into the tens. I mean, you put the right combination and they don't weigh shit. I mean,
that was my attraction to the Fox body. Whenever I got into the racing, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna pick a platform that's. I was either gonna get a Fox body or like a 3rd gen Camaro or 4th gen Camaro, and something that's proven. There's parts out there for it. There's no figuring it out.
Right.
And then
that's right. Yeah, because Fox bodies. I mean, they're popular because
you got the rear end.
I mean, you got parts now. Not only that, but I mean, it's just the way the car transfers. I mean, you don't have to do like a whole lot of. I mean, you got to do suspension work.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's already already has its nose weight and its ass weight.
Right. It's kind of almost.
It's almost good.
What is it? It's like a 70-30 or something like that.
It's probably more like a 57 or 58ish.
Really? Oh, you've seen some scales in it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming, but that's what I've seen. But anyway, but going back to like the turbo over nitrous, what was do you have a preference or do you care? I know you just said you just like horsepower, but does one put you back in the seat more than the other? I mean, granted, I know that your 4.8 was HP tuners, right? You can only do so much with that, right? That you know, with the nitrous will put you back, right? I mean,
the 60 foot nitrous car is, you know, that's the fun right there. All your fun's in the first 100 foot. But I mean, the turbo truck I had, it was fun too. You know, on the top end, driving around on the street, and you know, 60 miles an hour and roll into it, and power's there.
Yeah.
Were you running pump gas or E85? There
It's
too?
on which one?
On the truck.
The truck was actually, it was on 93.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
And the first motor I had
14
was,
psi.
Yeah. Well, the first motor I put together was non-intercooled too. That's how little I knew what I was doing.
So did you eventually put a cooler on it, or
the 5.3 that I put together, you know, put a bigger turbo on it, and I put an intercooler on it. It was still on 93.
just air to air or water?
Yeah, it was air to
air. That's the most common one. I have yet to hear somebody talk extensively on water.
Well, I mean, for the street, it's kind of tough. You know, you gotta.
Yeah, I mean, this was a full-on street. I mean, it's still like AC, heat, stereo, sound system.
So
I mean,
air to air is just like you just drive it, let it go, right?
Yeah.
Water to air is like, it's just melting. You know,
you got to start putting pumps, hoses.
Yeah. So I hear you, right? So that's just the convenient way. Learning curve, right? We got that all squared away. Truck combo. Okay, you bought that Mustang for $500.
Seriously?
Was that car? Was it in like a running condition?
Oh, absolutely.
It was just a roller.
No, it was a shell.
Shell, just a
mangled race car already, or
it was somebody's hot rod back in the day, but it was, you know, you could tell it had a nitrous bottle mounted in it at some point, and it was somebody's 302.
What color?
It was white. It was actually a GT car originally, but it was somebody's little 302 5-speed with a plate. You know,
did it have stickers on it? Did it?
No, it didn't have any stickers on it.
Oh man, I would be able to tell real quick if it still had them side window stickers on there. But there wasn't that many white ones running around. But still, so this is a GT. Did you take the ground effects off, or
none of them were savable when I started putting the car together, and I just always preferred the look of an LX. So, and I'd originally wanted to do a 4i car, and 4i parts are, you know, you can't find them. So
for a while nobody wanted those cars, and then little by little that became the thing, is to put those, you know, those 4 headlights and get away from the sealed beam. It just makes them look cool, right? It's got that look.
Been wanting to do it for a while, and it took me 3 or 4 months of looking, and I had to drive to Louisiana to get the front end for my car. Yeah,
I remember I had like 3 of them just laying around in my backyard.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Everybody I talk to, they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, I've got one or had one." Tossed them like, "Oh, well, I wish I would have known."
Got rid of a hatch in the front end and the hood once to a friend of mine. I'm like, "Yeah, I don't take it. It's right there." You know. Now it's like gold.
They're
wow.
a dozen now. I mean, you find them now, you better hold on to them. So from that point, you know, we're just kind of going, because we like to cover like pretty much everything. But so now you're out of high school, I'm assuming, when you got this car.
Yeah, I was 20 or 21 when I bought the car. No, actually, I was 22 when I bought the car.
Really? So you had the car 2 years, maybe?
Year and a half. Yep.
And you went from that to...
Wow, so
I bought the car as a rusty shell and made my first pass in it like 6 months later.
Wow, man. So were you truck driving already then, or?
No, I'm actually a lineman, just, you know, gotta have the CDL.
So you got some time.
Yeah.
When you get home, you got some time to work on it.
I mean, he works, but like I said, he works those hours where he's like, we're sleeping and he's probably working. But
I've got my work schedule's. I'm blessed with an extremely convenient work schedule. I got my afternoons are pretty free. So
you got some free time.
So I know some truck drivers, they had the money, but they couldn't stay home enough to wrench on the car.
So he's got a CD. You probably drive a big box truck, like a boom truck or
big
something.
boom truck.
So he works on lineman. So anyway, so from 6 months' time, you put a front end. I mean, you did all this work. What about suspension? Was it pretty much all there? Is it all?
No, it was everything that was in it was bone stock. I just ordered, you know, I talked to Matt Gillum, and he basically gave me a recommended parts list because he was my resident Fox body expert. So
gotcha.
It's like, hey, you know, just tell me what I need to buy and I'll buy it. So just did, you know, the double adjustable control arms in the rear, and did coilovers on the front.
You still run the stock K member, or you?
No, it's got a tubular K member in it. It's all tubular everything.
What'd you go with to get that?
Team Z.
Okay,
yeah. Team Z. So full strut, adjustable front end, tubular.
I think back in the day, the stuff was Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf Racecraft.
Yeah, that was the stuff to get. Yeah.
They're still around. I mean,
I mean, they had the box plate inner support for the control arms. They had a bunch of badass shit.
I think that's actually who I got the torque box. What do they call them? The battle boxes or whatever.
Something.
Reinforcement. So
yeah.
There's racecraft. There's also racecraft too. Like
racecraft was early on.
Yeah, racecraft. Anyway, so aftermarket stuff. You rebuilt the whole car, suspension. 6 months you're driving the car.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a gutted out shell. It was a driver's seat and a steering wheel at this point.
So you pretty much put an interior. I mean, everything
it's full interior, power window. It's got a back seat, everything. But
so you got all that working on the car again?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Was it not? It was not working before.
No,
like the fuse box was out of this car.
There wasn't a wire one in the car.
There you go.
Shit. So you use the factory wire harness to get that going, or you just bought a kit?
I bought the. Who is it that does that K&R wiring or something like that?
The one that's specific for like the Foxes?
No, just the generic Pro Street wiring kit.
Yeah, so there's American Auto Wire, there's Painless, but I think there's that.
I think K&R.
K&R, yeah.
I don't know. I've got a box that I need to put in my car, and there's just no way you can use a factory harness after you.
No, there was no point. You know,
you don't want to mix.
Well, I mean, ultimately, if we got all the ignition,
come get it.
So you got all the. You got all the suspension, interior, you had carpet, seats, dash. It had glass. I mean, the glass.
It had glass, and it had glass and a busted dash, and that was about it.
So did you use all this? Well, other than your windshield, the story you were telling me before, right?
What happened?
So anyway, you can share the story. Like,
so what happened?
So he's literally getting ready to go to the Ennis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the night before I was supposed to head up to Radio Roundup this past year, which was a year from when I bought the car. I was getting ready. Rick had just painted it for me. And, I'm putting the little rivets around the windshield on the Fox body. I was putting the clips in there and tapping them on with a screwdriver. And the screwdriver slipped and spiderwebbed the windshield the night before the race. I was like,
like a brand new windshield. Yeah. That's when you're cramming, but shit happens.
There was
it was a sign maybe, but you got more everything that you needed to get done first, right? So.
There was a point, man, back in the day, not like way back then, but like 2000, somewhere around there. Those little quarter windows, they were gold, man, for people looking for those.
Oh yeah, the original ones. Stupid.
Are they still hard to find? The weird ones. I guess they got
the one with the vents. Yeah. I don't have those in my car. You cannot find them. Yeah. Well, because my car was originally an '89, it didn't have them, but you cannot find
I had
those.
a few sets, man, like a big dummy, man. Hey, do you have? I got them here. Take them. I'm like, after they told me that they were like gold.
Those are like $1,000 a window. Now.
Yeah, and just dude for like $100, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, these Mustangs, and I knew there was gonna be a point where these things were gonna be like, everybody kept shitting on, they're just junky. Like there was this guy going towards San Marcos. He's got a museum out there, and he had a bunch of Cobras, and he had a bunch of Fox body suspension on all these. And I said, I'm kind of hoarding a little bit of Fox body stuff, and but I kind of like the Fox bodies over putting a Cobra kit over one of these. He goes, oh man, you don't want, those things are dime a dozen. They're not going to hold their weight. And go look at it now. So you have the steel fenders, all that still on the car. Did you cut the front off?
I did.
The tube?
I did do a tube front end because I like all the Fox bodies. The lower radiator support was just gone.
It's gone. Probably maybe
rust and looked like somebody tried to load it with no tires on it with a winch.
Oh man,
it was all tore up. I just sawzalled the front end of the car off and did the tube.
Just to do another one. Yeah, because the bumper will push itself, or it'll try and go underneath the car with the wind. So you got to need some kind of goods. Yeah, you've seen it. Well, I remember going to San Antonio, and they got that high mile an hour, but you see that front end just kind of pushed in. But then when the car stops, the driver really doesn't know that the car is actually rolling the whole front bumper underneath the car. Until somebody says, "Hey man, have you seen the video of your car? Man, it don't look right, man. That whole bottom thing's like eating itself."
Especially like an LS with no fairing, it's just like.
Yeah, third-gen Camaros would do that too.
Yeah.
So
they're a little bit more sturdy, but they would kind of roll up a little bit. But
yeah. So basically what I'm explaining is that there's a lot of stuff you got to do to a Fox body because it's a very thin metal car. So obviously when you're putting everything together, did you go with welding subframe connectors to stiffen it all up? Because this car will pretzel with any kind of power.
Yeah, I did the subframe connectors, tied the cage into the subframe connectors, did all that. So. It's got it. If you can find it for a Fox body in a catalog, it's got it.
That's basically nickel and dime. Yeah. So you do all this in about 6 months. Mm-hmm. You get the car out there. And where'd you run?
Little River.
You went to Little River?
Yeah.
So you call that your home track, or
Oh,
just
absolutely. I know a lot of people go out there a lot, but I'd be willing to bet in the last year I've got more laps out there than anybody in Central
There you
Texas.
go. Watch out, Top Guns.
I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you.
I've got at least 300 laps out there in the
He
last.
sees a groove, y'all don't. That's what he sees.
So yeah, not only like I said, prep. He
Yeah.
also does the top end stuff. So
Yeah.
he's a contender. Right?
So you
got data.
You've done Tamayo's top end.
Yeah, actually, I'd love that event. What they're doing there is
It's probably
all the people that want to do the street racing thing but don't want to go to the street to
Right.
do it.
It's just
gives
like
them a
being on the
place to do
street.
it. Yeah.
It's a street, except
Yeah.
it turns a little bit. But
Yeah.
so what was your experience on that? What did you think about that when you went up to it the first time?
It was a blast because the first event, it was that slow car class is what I
Yeah,
ran, that
yeah.
650 index or whatever.
Right.
So the first
is not
event
slow.
that I went to, it was the one that Biddle actually won.
Yeah.
And
Against El Camino, win it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so there was no real at that event. There was no real cap on it. They were just kind of like, hey, we
Get
got
a
a tight,
feel.
we got
Yeah.
a tight knit group of cars. Let's see
Right.
where they end up.
Right.
And me and Biddle actually drew each other second round. And
Really?
I'll have to send you the picture of it.
Yeah,
but
man.
Biddle, the little bumper trim that comes up on the front of the Fairmont bumpers.
Yes.
He didn't
what
even
he got
get me
you
by
by.
that, dude.
Oh.
It was maybe an inch.
Yeah. Send me that picture because it was
bumper guard. He got
there
you by the
was-
bumper
there
guard.
was no,
barely-
Dude, that's like maybe an inch and a half,
Yeah,
2
dude,
inches.
it
Oh
was-
wow.
Calabrese,
Yeah.
he posted it because it was like
Yeah.
the closest race like in history or something. It was
Yeah,
like
our draggies were identical, except for I think I had a mile and a half or a mile an hour and a half on them, and that was it.
Yeah.
damn. Good thing they had. Well, I say good thing for Biddle, but
Yeah.
of course not for you. But like they had that camera view at the finish line. But
Man, I'm telling you, these guys.
But yes, that event.
Yeah, we went to it. We
Yeah,
checked it
yeah,
out.
I mean, it's got a lot of traction.
Yeah.
'Cause like
Oh,
I said, it's
absolutely.
the one that it's the guys that don't like the track, but they like the street, right? It's that good.
I
happy
mean, you
medium.
could technically just get off the track, off the street, and go race that every weekend.
Right.
And it's just like running, on a street, but you already know it.
Yeah, and the surface is coming around. At the first event, the first round, the track was pretty. Compared to a street, it was great, but for a top end track, it was But now,
oh man, people were smoking them.
Yeah,
I mean, it
but
looked
now
like
it's gotten to the point
barbecue
where-
out there, man.
it's gotten to the point now where first round is, first round and the finals. There's no difference in ET. It's really pretty damn close all the way around now.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's got a lot of traction. So I mean, that's the event that's. I mean, you
That's
see
a top end event that people look forward to seeing.
And you've seen it from that first event. The amount of cars to the amount of cars now, they had to make
Slower.
another
Yeah,
class.
they made the
Because there were
Yeah,
cars that
yeah.
couldn't compete
they
in the
just
slow
wanted to be a
class.
part of it.
Because
Right.
like a car like yours, it's fast as hell, and so you try and bring a 7-second car into the slow. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, so they found a happy medium for everybody.
They did.
And it's working really well. I mean, every event that I go to, it's a tight knit group of cars, and
That's what I like about it. I'm not so cool being on top end, but it's understandable because if you want to do it from the beginning of the strip, well, then now you're talking about the track having to scrape the whole damn thing, and it kind of it loses its feel of
a street
of a road. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why that's
appeals.
why that's why it appeals, and why the reason why they do the top end thing. But here's the thing, you've done it, Biddle's done it, a few other guys have done it, Tom has done it,
Yeah.
and is there any gripes about that? No. I think the only gripe I got is my big ass couldn't jump over the freaking thing that to support somebody. You're just kind of watching over the rail, so there's nothing you can do about that. But it's a great event, right? I mean, it
absolutely.
works.
Yeah, no, it's
For that track, it works. They brought in a lot of people just to.
And like I said
Just to
before,
watch.
it's like the way they wrote in the barbecue rib thing, whatever. They
Yeah, on
do.
the second,
the barbecue
the
cook-off
second one
deal they're
because
doing
it was
now.
on a Sunday.
It's a
Yeah.
Sunday,
Yeah.
man. So shit. I mean,
So did
why
you get
not?
some of them ribs? Did you go out there?
no. This last event, I wasn't able to make it.
I didn't
unfortunately,
either. I didn't go to it. Damn. Somebody, whoever won the ribs, let us know, and we'll talk rib
we'll
and
talk
barbecue.
ribs next time, yeah.
It's gonna be a talk show about barbecue.
Shit, hey, why
Yeah,
not?
so-
We're in Texas.
So you won at the track. What'd you win? Barbecue.
Hey, it's a good day.
Hey, it was a
know,
good
right?
day, right? Finger licking good.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
So, going back to you got the car running in 6 months. You pretty much all last year, middle last year when you ran the shit out of this thing.
Oh, absolutely. I ran the dog crap out of it for
Shit.
lack of better terms. You know, I've got a lot of passes in that car, and it keeps on going.
Right.
Have you refreshed the thing or? Woo.
No.
So I have literally, like, I don't, knock on wood. But the only thing.
We'll bring you some wood here in a minute.
The only thing I've done is change the oil, put spark plugs on it.
That's all you gotta do, man.
I had one little oil leak. And that's it. I haven't broke anything. Car's been.
It's not like you're shooting like a 400 shot or nothing.
No, right.
So respectable, right? So on kind of where I was going is that. So you ran it pretty much all last year. And then you found time. I'm assuming you painted the car over the off season.
Well, it was kind of I don't really remember what was going on at that point, but I think it was just a 2 or 3 week lapse in time that we had, and I'd finally, because everything on the car pretty much, I'd say 97% of the stuff on the car I've done by myself.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna paint the car. I can figure this out. And then so I did all the body work, which quickly learned I don't know how to do. And
it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it'll work your forearms, man.
The car looked immaculate until Rick laid paint on it, and I was like, oh, damn. But so I bought all the paint, bought all the equipment to do it, and then got to the point it was the weekend I was going to do it, and me and Eric were sitting there talking, and he's like, man, just call Rick. And so I did, and that Rick was like, yeah, bring it over, and I'll shoot it this weekend. So I took the car to Rick, prepped, and showed up on a Friday afternoon. I taped it off, and Saturday morning it had color.
So he let you tape everything.
Yeah, he was like, I'll spray it for you, but you got to do all that.
That's the hard work.
Yeah.
Fuck the damn taping. That's going to take the whole weekend.
Cool,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, no, huge shout out to him.
So did you do tape work?
Yeah, I did do the tape work. But,
did it come out good? Did you
There was one spot where you can see a little bit of but it's right there where the black on the top of the door meets.
Now did he provide the tape, or you brought your own Walmart special?
No, he provided the tape. But
like I say, you got to.
Yeah, I mean it's not very often you find somebody that on 6 hours notice will tell you to bring your car over, and the next afternoon it's ready to pick up.
So and to go on top of that, when you start looking at getting a paint job, let's say 5 years ago, this amount, but from 5 years ago to now, would it cost to paint a car?
Right there was my motivation to figure it out how to do it myself.
Well, yeah, you start realizing that
the materials, everything.
The primer.
Yeah,
just the primer itself. It
almost what it costs to kill paint.
It can range anywhere between $500 to, you want some real good stuff? Okay, $1,800. Just on primer.
It's ridiculous.
So, so you just
So shout out to Rick. Like I said, he got you taken care of in a weekend.
And I was just thinking about those guys. And I was gonna let me I'm gonna ask Buckman, see if we can bring in Rick and his brother Bonnie.
Well, we need. I mean, get it, because like I said, we talked about getting Eric back too. Eric and try to record over here, but
I spoke with Bonnie more back then, and I remember we went to the store and they had a Pro Street truck, square body, and man, that thing was that was an insane truck just for. Being a fully loaded dress truck, but I mean it had the meats, and every now and then they throw on the big Goodyear slicks on it, and I mean it's just they took it out on this. All those guys actually went down to our hangout once, and I couldn't believe that they actually we'll go, and they all brought the fucking cars.
Everything they had always had everything they had. They always had a motor that was it wasn't like a stock. I mean it was a all out badass motor, good sounding motors, right? Everything they had, everything.
So let's see if we can work. Maybe you can help us out. We can bring those guys in, and they can talk some of the.
Yeah, because there were some of the OGs back in the day. I mean.
Yeah, I've got them on video. Or at least Rick walking the back of Little River, where the burnout box is. This is like 1987, 86.
It's actually been really cool seeing the old school Little River videos that y'all been sharing. Seeing like the original back when Eric had the maroon G body,
the Cutlass, and there was a lot of old school guys back there that run still today.
Yeah,
Trey Montgomery. So anyway, so in I have a whole lot more videos. I just can't capture them because I got an older.
The only videos I got is in my head. Just receiving those cars.
So a lot of good memories. So appreciate you mentioning that. But so going back to, because we're touching on this car because this car is the focus of some of the events that are happening now, right? That are happening in our area, Central Texas, Little River Dragway, in Ennis, right? There's the events of that. It started out as little hitters. It morphed into
explain a little bit to the
JV,
audience, those who listen. How did that that you can remember? How did it go from? Because all I remember was little hitters.
We were talking about that too.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know exactly the timelines or whatever, but little hitters started out as a class for that racer who didn't have like deep pockets.
About what time? About what year?
Man, it's probably been about 3-4 years ago, maybe,
Okay, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
Something like that, maybe 19 or 20, somewhere down there. So
All I know is that there was this dude named Boogie, and he kept talking on Facebook about some events.
well, so it started out with Kenneth, right? Kenneth, Kenneth was the one that originally started. He started the Bar None Fade All event. That might have been like an 18.
Yeah.
And then he ran those events. That was just a couple classes. It had a small tire class, some indexes, and like an outlaw class or something like that. And then they came across, they started doing the little hitters. Right, little hitters was a cap race. It was always been a cap race, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't quote me because I don't know fucking everything.
Yeah. We're just the fans of it.
So cap race, whatever it was, 5-0, whatever it was. Try to make racing a little bit tighter, and then guys were getting faster, and then they started another class. And correct me if I'm wrong, because you might need a little bit more too. And then little hitters got popular, and then you got a clash of a whole bunch of racers that don't necessarily fit.
But how many cars were by then?
I mean, you're probably, I don't know exactly. It
Assuming-
was well over 20 or 30,
Yeah, it's
maybe
getting
closer.
big then. Yeah.
And then, that grew. Then you got the no time stuff because they piggyback off the picnic
Okay.
in Ennis
That's how it's
in
going.
the
Okay.
fall race. So they piggyback off that, and then Top Gun came about this year.
I think so.
That's something that came in this year, right? So that came in for still fast cars, but a little bit more of a I guess you could say an affordable kind of class. I don't know.
Right. It always boils down to the mom and pop, where you can reach in your pockets, still pull out some food money after you done built the car.
The cars that are still in the street, like yours and Biddles. Some of these other cars may not fit that class, but they're kind of in a range to where it's fast,
Right.
but they're not like little hitters fast, I guess you
Right.
could say so. But kind of jump into a little bit more if you got a little bit more details, because like Top Gun started off like literally this year, I think.
Yeah.
And we've had one event so far.
The one
And then
event, so-
we're supposed to have another one that got rained out, and that's the one that's happening
make
this
it-
weekend.
So you go to the top end races, you enjoy that, then we all start seeing Top Gun, right? Mm-hmm. So you get to see more about it. You've got a car obviously ready to go, possibly that may fit. So you say, I don't know, I'm gonna try it out. What's your persona on that?
Yeah.
No, Boogie told me about it, and I saw an opportunity to run the car heads up, all out, and just go have some fun racing and not be stuck to 6070 index.
Yeah,
So I was all about it.
You did.
So okay, real quick. So to rephrase that, what are the index numbers to stay within?
Everybody all the races have the 6070 index classes, and then Top Gun is more for the mid. So my car all out can't meet the cap for that class anyway, so I ain't got to worry about breaking out. So it's just a good.
But you fall in it.
Yeah, I fall
perfect.
right in it. Yeah.
And you may get a winning light
just
winning.
just like any race.
whatever. Yeah.
Somebody can blow tires. Somebody can red light. So, whatever. So, by all means, go for it. Because, like I said, at this point, at the beginning of the year, you were doing, you did some top end stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So you're kind of, because they have a cap, right? 650 slow cast, right?
I believe so.
On the top end stuff, right? So this is your opportunity to uncork it and just let it run all out, right? So. And the Top Gun, do you? I know the answer because you could see the amount of cars. I think there's probably at least well over 24 cars that were in that last event, that first event, right?
I think there was 18 or 19 cars, and there's like 24 this weekend.
So, the bread's in the pudding, right? It brought out people that normally don't come racing.
Oh, it brought out people that you would assume be on the top 5, and they're not. You're like, what?
There's Darren Mueller, of course. He won the first one. Mm-hmm. Benzo got runner up, I guess, in the Love.
Oh, Sammy's truck.
Right. And then there's some other new guys that came out. I guess a guy in the Maverick.
Steve Johnson.
Steve Johnson.
That's Warren Johnson's brother.
That's Warren Johnson's brother.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I don't know if it's his younger or older brother. I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know.
But Warren's been around in the game for a while.
Right.
That's his. The motor in that car is Warren's old motor from back in the day.
Whoa, seriously?
Is that right?
That's his
Monte
old
Carlo
big
motor, probably.
Yeah, the old big block Chevrolet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
that's crazy.
So that Maverick, that's Warren's brother, Steve. His name, Steven.
Steven, I believe.
Steven Johnson. Yeah. So that guy came out. He's a new one, right? I guess. I mean, because you didn't ever see him out before. I mean, there's so many different guys that are going to come out, just for this event. And so this is going to be the second event. So yeah, there's well over 2,000 cars that are lined up. They're running Sunday.
Yeah.
April 30th. This coming Sunday, right?
So Top Gun basically covers. It is just talking here, but Top Gun basically covers all the cars that were in the garage. Somewhere saying, "Damn, I'm not as fast as those turbo, 4-second."
Well, I mean,
low 5-second cars.
Yeah, I mean, so you got a window. I mean, and I don't know exactly, but you got a window from X. Anybody can win this thing.
Anybody, yeah. And your car, you can run nitrous, run turbo. I mean,
yeah. What is stipulation on that? Any power? Anything, right?
There are no rules. Invite only, no rules.
Tire? What about a tire? You got to run.
Tire.
I got a buddy of mine showing up this weekend's on an 18.5-inch wide
prep.
tire.
This is prep, so you could be running a big tire car.
It's slick prep. Yep.
Yeah, it's slick prep. That was the thing that was. Thomas mentioned it on one of the events about these little hitters, Top Gun. Yeah, they're prepped. They're gonna be prepped.
Wow.
So it's prepped. So I know a friend of mine, Daryl Moore, that it's a gray Chevy
64.
Yeah, 64 Chevy 2. So he's on a big tire. So there's obviously no stipulation.
So this is exciting. It gets exciting because now you've got a big tire car next to you that could probably blow your doors off. Maybe it's a slower motor, but usually a big tire car is not going to friggin' go sideways. It's going to usually hook. Mm-hmm. So it's down to driver tuning,
track. Prep
experience, and hopefully your car's tuned to not go up in the air and A to B, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a good event, because like I said, I got a buddy of mine that's showing up, and he's got an old bracket car on. I don't know if it's actually on Big Bubba's, but you can have him sitting next to my car on 26s. It's a wide range.
Wow, I like seeing those races because you just
I said, it's a cap, so you can't. There's gonna be a cap.
So you get past it. If you get past it,
if you go past the cap, then you lose. So
see, in the top end, there is no cap. It's no lift.
Yeah.
So what do you think, man? Coming out of the top end and going into this, do you have your car worked out to an understanding?
Do you have to make changes between the two?
Have you adjusted?
I take a bag of corn out of the back. That's it. Literally, that's the only change I make. I take a bag of deer corn out of the back seat, and that's it.
Maybe 2 psi from sitting for a while.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So you get some more transfer in the ass, put some more weight back there. Go in prep race and take the bag out.
Yeah, take the bag out. Yeah, prep.
I mean, obviously there's a little bit of nitrous ramp. You take out of it, a little bit of timing retard off the line, but
yeah.
But so you got it dialed in. So like I said, he got seat time.
So let me ask him the question. So you've done turbo, you've done nitrous. What's it like for you going into the freaking? I guess you can do water burnout box, right? Depending on where you are. What's your operation with the nitrous or the turbo car? Let's say the turbo truck first. Mm-hmm. So you go in there. What do you learn about being this is for those guys that have never gone to the track. They got a turbo car. Maybe they don't even have a trans brake. Did you have a trans brake back then?
I did have a trans brake.
So you managed to actually get some of this stuff to get started. First time going to the track and you take your vehicle out there. What's your experience? What did you learn out of getting onto that line that you would like to just explain? Yeah, your staging. What was it like?
Probably should have practiced staging before I got to the track. Trying to.
What went wrong?
Get in the burnout, quickly realize, like in my truck, it's 4,400 pound truck. Didn't really like to do a burnout with slicks on it on the rubber. And, and then staging it, for some reason in my head, I thought I had to foot brake it and then hit the trans brake. I didn't know nothing back then. So I just didn't realize you could just hit the button and floor it. And, it's just things you learn when you're young and dumb and just trying to figure stuff out,
Well, I mean, that's how we all learn. We make mistakes.
So do you think there's a crash course out there for guys who build their cars with a turbo and they get out to the line and because you can easily trash your transmission right there on the spot.
Oh, you can smoke it pretty quickly.
You can blow some shit right there, and you'll go home pissed off because you're like, if somebody would have just told me, you know what I mean? So all right, so you learn from that. So obviously, if you go back to a turbo car, well, you do, or you have nitrous car now. But if you go back to turbo, you pretty much learned the do's and don'ts, right?
Well, I mean, you pretty much play with like some friends. You got friends who run turbo, so you probably got more acclimated to the. Hey, this is what you do, bump in, blah, blah, blah. So
yeah, because the red truck was kind of, I hadn't really been in the racing scene yet. It was more of just, I'd always been at the racetrack, but I was just there to watch. Right. I didn't hardly know nobody there, and then got into the Mustang, and that's when I really started getting into the racing. And so then I didn't know nothing.
So what's your experience going back then, not now, but taking the nitrous car and going to the staging? What was your experience then? Now, after you learned a little bit on the turbo.
Like when I first started with the nitrous stuff?
Well, you show up to the track, you show up to the water burnout, and this is a nitrous car. What do you do? What went right and what went wrong, and what did you learn from? What are your do's and don'ts that you ain't gonna do again?
Well, the first time I got my car in the burnout box, I was real hesitant in the burnout. Left it in first gear, didn't want to hit the limiter. It was just being easy on it, and then after my first pass, my whole family was there, family friends were there. I get back after my first pass, Eric Tobar looks at me and he's like, "Hey man, that rev limiter's there for a reason, like hit it." Because my first burnout was it was pathetic to see when I saw the video. I felt cool as hell in the driver's seat, but not so much on the video.
Yeah, so you have a 3-step, the one for the burnout, like.
No, it just
one.
When I pull in the burnout box, that poor little stock bottom end LS is seeing 7,500 RPM, third gear.
Yeah.
Third gear burnout.
What did you run back then? Did you run a multi-step or just one?
No, honestly, I didn't run no rev limiter.
No shit.
Not back when I started. I mean, you got to remember back when I started racing, it was all you had was a. You had a 6
4-speed and a straight axle? What is that?
No, I mean, it was a 350 turbo. And I was kind of the same way. You just zing it up like, and then when you go into that second gear, that's when the smoke starts coming out. When you get the high gear, right, or second or third, and then you get wet. The first couple of times you go in, you're just getting the feel of the motor, and then that little 355. I mean, I wouldn't take it no more than maybe 6,700 in the burnout, but It's all a learning curve.
Yeah, make sure we got the windows up. We're experiencing some rain all of a sudden.
That came out of nowhere.
That's strange in this shop for the first time.
I thought y'all had an ice machine that just
that's what I thought. Hey, go fill me up.
That old metal roof is getting
don't bring me a Budweiser though. No Bud. We'll discuss that later.
Right. No, but I mean, so like with you, I mean, obviously you're just getting acclimated. You get the feel. First couple of times, and I'm sure after that you zing it up. After Eric told you, let's go ahead and you got a rev limiter there for a reason, right? So let's zing it up there, and then you see the white smoke coming out at that time, right? You get RPM, white smoke, makes you feel good.
Did you have a rear view mirror?
Well, I had the side view mirrors, but that's smoke coming past me.
So obviously you got pretty adjusted to that. And so did you keep your truck or you got rid of it? What did you do to it?
I ended up selling it shortly after I bought the Mustang. I just didn't have the time or patience or.
Was this a step side?
It was
long
a
bed?
fleet side short bed deal.
Okay.
But Casey Rance actually bought it from me, and I believe one of the younger guys that work at his shop now, they put it together and he drives it around now.
Nice. Well, somebody turned it and continue on its.
Of course,
it's hot rodding.
Still living around, right? So.
Yeah.
But going back and I said during the beginning of the show that we're going to touch on the Top Gun, and because we want to hype it up, right? Because by all means, Boogie does.
Boogie is hyping up hamburgers. He's posting up some nice photos.
So to kind of go back,
fishing, you name it. He make sure you go out there and.
So originally the event was supposed to take part at the beginning of April.
Yeah.
I don't remember the days, like April 3rd or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was the first weekend.
Yeah, so it got rained out. So throughout some, schedule, already prior engagements with Little River, right? So it's going to happen this Sunday, April 30th, which it is a Sunday. But it's already got big hype right? So
it's
on top of big on Top Guns, right? The Top Gun class. There's also 6.0, 7.0?
6.0, 7.0, and then I believe there's a small tire run what you brung deal.
Run what you run. That's okay. So it's happening. Anybody in Central Texas, you know, unfortunately, we're pre-recording right now, so this is going to broadcast after this event, but we will have an update on the upcoming event, upcoming podcast about the outcome of the event. We'll see how everybody fared. And maybe we'll have you back.
Yeah, those guys that come out here, so like you come out here, whoever goes out to the event, we definitely have material to bring y'all back and basically discuss the event because
talk how you fared.
Yeah, because if you don't talk about your performance or how it went, then that's it. You don't know about the event anymore. It's done.
Yeah, it's
nobody gets.
Right?
Yeah, it's forgotten, and that's the thing. You want to always carry the event so that when the next one comes, people are ready to say, damn, that was a really badass event. Look at all the stuff that was going on in the pits, the drivers, how they fared, their gripes, their positives, their negatives. That's what we always want to know. That's what we want to hear. Because you don't get that anywhere unless you have a news reporting agency, which ain't gonna happen.
Somebody is gonna live stream all the time, and that's not always gonna happen, right? So
that's true.
And not everybody can always make the events, but it's always good sometimes that people gets a little snippet of some live feed, boom, boom.
Right.
But that doesn't always happen at Little.
Yeah, here we try at least give at least and for your knowledge as well, always try and give at least a minimum of an hour and a half of input from either your racing point of view or from you attending an event, because 5 minutes, 3 minutes of video on Facebook does not tell you enough.
Well, I mean, then like you said, it gets lost in the.
It gets lost. It becomes history.
You see it one time and then boom, it's
Yeah.
So anyway, it may not be important to some, but some people may, because like I said, we just like to relive.
I'm a hardcore drag race fan and participant when I can, and I like football. We want to hear, we want to know more and who the racers are, and
a broadcaster, a play-by-play. Somebody to do a play-by-play.
Right.
They ought to get Boogie up in the stands.
Dude, they gotta put him on the microphone.
On the mic.
Yeah, throw him up there
and
because he doesn't have a race car. So guys, don't be spamming him for artwork. I tried. He don't want it. He says he don't have a car. So but I think he's got a badass stereo or something in his truck or something. So
something, right?
He'll bass some bass.
So kind of come back around, on the car. Let's say we finish off the year, right? You go all balls out, right? You finish all the events that we got going, because we're just in April. We're just getting started.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have other plans in the future? Let's say next year for the car. You can leave it the way it is. I mean, obviously it's gonna be a street car, but something that may give it a little bit more horsepower here, weight loss here or there, or something. Do you have any plans?
Not really. It's kind of one of those deals. The car works. I go out and have fun.
Yeah.
Ain't no really sense in changing it. And right now
I hear you.
I got 2 other cars I'm putting together. One for my little brother and one for my dad. So, kind of once them come out, maybe I'll revisit mine a little bit.
Is that Oldsmobile gonna come out? Does he still have it or
no? That's long gone. But
what is he? He's
got a
truck.
little. Yeah, he's got I think it's a '98 or something. Step.
For those who don't know, what was your dad's name?
Mosby Hamilton.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
442. Those are one of those that stands out, right? That's not a common car that you've seen.
No, I remember that car. If it is the right car, it's like a 70, 72 or something like that.
Yeah, he had 70, 72s. I don't know if he did. You're maybe thinking of what's his name, Rick, Amco Rick with the green one.
No, that I remember him.
That's
he had
the only
a truck
other 442 that I know of, but I don't know if he had that.
Yeah, I remember him with the truck. Going out back in the woods.
Day,
Maynard, I think it was Maynard or something back then. Long Bed, I think he had Long Bed Square Body or something like that. But he's one of the big transmission builders, and the other guy that we know, Corey Menchaca, he does transmissions on the other side of the planet. But no, this Oldsmobile that I remember, it was a white Oldsmobile. I don't remember if it's the same car or not, but that was a nice. If it is, those cars got some nice weight distribution. Mm-hmm. They're kind of long, but. The one I remembered, I think it had the same Chris Curley is Monte Carlo. He talked about his Monte Carlo. He busted blew out the shocks so he could get that ultimate transfer to the back.
Competition engineering shocks.
Blown out, Lakewoods. Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember one like that, and it would
coming down the road.
Oh man, well yeah, and then when you let on it, man, it just not lift. That thing was just, man, it's standing like the cars today. What do you call it? The South Carolina, or what do you got? Memphis, squad or
the squad where the ass front ends up, ass down.
What do they call it? Carolina squad.
There you go, that shit.
Yeah. So that's like a sand rail kind of dune shock travel, like on the front end of those cars. Right?
Damn, I still can't get past how freaking long them things look on the.
Hey man, I'm I knock them, but I mean
you bought some. Don't say you did.
No, fuck no.
No. I mean, if they weren't working, then there'd be a lot less no prep racers with them,
Right.
That's dead right. Yeah. So, like I said, they work, but I mean, I'm like, just like Seaver's like.
He's die hard, not willing to.
Yeah. Anyway,
he's still prepping.
Yeah, he's still prepping.
He'll get it right.
He'll do anything.
You go, man. You go. You'll get it.
He'll do anything. So no plans, right? You got other projects, right? You got your little brothers, you got your dads, right? So maybe revisit it when if those get completed.
So
right?
so what's the car your dad's?
Your dad's doing a truck.
He's got a
898
98 S10 little LS Turbo 400 deal.
Man, that's another lightweight.
Yeah, it ought to be sub 3,000 when we're done with it. Then my brothers, we got him a little Fox body. Got a 347 and a 5-speed manual.
Somebody finally kept the Ford.
Right. Hey, in my defense, the only reason
I don't know why you went with that LS stuff, man.
I had the
turn
motor
that
before
shit
I
off.
had
Turn
the
that shit
car.
off right now.
I had the motor before I had the car. It would have an 8.2 deck.
No, the thing is, those old Ford motors. I mean, a lot of those guys, they would split the shit out of the block. They'd break them, crack them. Then you're looking for the Holy Grail from Mexico. Is that a Mexican block? It'll go a little quicker.
Allegedly, my brother's is it's a triple X block, and I don't know a whole lot about them, but apparently that's the go-to
thing.
It's either Ford Motorsport block or you're looking for that Mexican block. Seriously, a Mexican block out of a LTD out of Laredo.
What do you mean?
Came out of a 4-door Fairmont.
Some taxi cars, some shit.
Some taxi car, right?
Yeah, but no, those were the things I remember, man. I had a 5.0 with the, I had the dart heads and all that shit, and they're like, dude, you haven't cracked the block yet? And I'm like, huh? What are you talking about? Cause I had just gone from Chevy to a Ford. They're like, dude, you don't want to be pressing that car that much, man. It'll split down the half. And I was like, nah, I didn't know. You tell me more. Get a Mexican block. Oh, okay. So here I am looking for a Mexican block. Do you go to Mexico or no, man? It's a Mexican block. Sand casket, sand things from Mexico.
You're literally looking for.
I literally, man. Hey, dude. Yeah, but no, I'm just bullshitting.
No, I mean, like I said, that's it's almost to where you're doing a Ford body, which people put big block Chevys in them, LS. Yeah. They're all over. I mean, because they work.
Yeah, they do.
They're not saying like, and to your point, like, so you had the motor. If you didn't already have that motor, you would probably had
I'd have a 302 base motor.
Full, 8.2 deck height, whatever. But it works.
Fix
it, right? And just don't fuck with it if it works.
Right, if it works, don't keep
right?
going. Our last podcast, the Cotto family, the son, what's his name again? Steven. Yeah. He's got a Lincoln Navigator 4.6, the Cobra style, poor man's Cobra, Yeah, and so he threw that in there, I think, in his car, and I think he's got one of them has a 4 eyebrow.
No, his, yeah.
It's his, right? Yeah. And so I think the only reason he did it is because it was in the back of his shop, or maybe he would probably another LS conversion,
Yeah, but their whole family's all Ford, so
yeah.
I don't think they would have a GM motor in any of their vehicles. But anyway, so yeah, he had a Navigator. I think it was a 5.4.
Oh, 5.4 Lincoln Navigator.
And there was a
they just got the big heads that actually breathe, not like the little 4.6.
Right.
Early. Nah, that is shit.
Yeah, he actually put a Pro Charger in front of it. Stock 5.4.
Yeah.
Block. So hey.
But if you find those, I mean, it's just like getting an LS, basically.
They're bulletproof.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess the only thing is that you're going to get that Mustang sound versus that LS sound, because you can clearly
Oh,
tell the sound of an LS versus a 5.0 or a 4.6 or something like that. So I don't know. I just like the sound. I'm old school, so if I hear an LS sound, I'm like, God damn, shit, it's fast though, but God damn, that freaking sound, sounds like a Corvette, But no, man. Not putting it down at all.
No.
Beautiful car.
Yeah.
LS Motors will scream. I'm guilty. I've got a couple sitting down going in a Falcon. So hey, I know I know what y'all are doing. I'm guilty as well.
You're guilty too. So.
Yeah.
So on this note, like I said, we're going back touching on the events, right? And Big Sleepy's got events coming up, and you're gonna run it. And I'm assuming you're gonna run all his events. Top
Oh yeah,
Gun,
I told him if
anything
right? He's got going on, if you got a class I fit in, I'm there.
So I did see too that they were like giving like who wants to run a shootout on Friday night? And you're like, boom, you're the first one. Right?
Yeah.
So you, shootout Friday night, or is it Saturday? Is it Friday?
So that the shootout the night before, I think, is for the bar none fade all deal.
Oh, that's
June.
so okay. So
Yeah.
that's so apologies.
So the event is covering two days.
So this is not this Sunday. This is gonna be the event in the major like Big Sleepy's bar none fade on, which is on June the 3rd.
June 3rd.
Okay.
So yeah, so they're already getting out a shootout put together for Friday night, which is the 2nd, June 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already volunteered.
So you're there.
So you're gonna get some time. You're gonna get some ETs.
Absolutely.
You may fare. I guess it is gonna be just a true 8-car shootout.
I don't know yet. I don't know how many people are in it.
Like I think.
But as soon as I saw like 8-car show, I was like, "Yep, I'm in."
And I seen Biddle like, "Are you gonna do 8 or not?" Because he was like already tallying up past 8 or something. But anyway, regardless, so
pot. How big's the pot?
I guess it's just a jackpot race. I guess I don't know how that's gonna work.
$50, $100 buy-in.
Yeah, so whatever the entry is, all your cars, you get the full payout. But ultimately, he's putting in time. He's putting in work, getting some ET, getting some data.
So this is Friday and Saturday to make it.
So
clear.
yeah, so this is Mardon Fade on June 2nd, which is Friday, and June 3rd is when the actual event. That's Big Sleepy's actual. You got to run this event if you want to go run the picnic.
Yeah.
In the fall, you got to run this event.
Okay.
So this is like a qualifier. I don't know how it works, but you got to run this event. If you don't run this event, you can't run the picnic, and then it's in September, whatever it is. So it's a pretty big event. I don't know if I've gone the past couple of years just because of prior engagements, but I always see it as it's always big.
But if you're gonna do it on a Friday, obviously it's gonna be in the evening. That brings family to go to the stands and check it out.
I mean, regardless, it's gonna fare well, right? It's gonna be a Friday, Saturday event. Friday is always good because people are out there testing. Because the good thing with Mike, he doesn't let on that big event. I don't think he's gonna let no other street cars come like a normal.
Yeah, I think that Friday night's a slick and radial deal only.
It's only slick, yeah. Because typically Friday nights is a test and tune open, but he's gonna close it down for slicks and radio cars only. Which is good because you gotta keep the track tight because those street tires are just gonna bring water.
Eat shit up.
Yeah. Anyway, so good. That's what has to be done because you want to be safe, you want to be fair, particularly when you got a shootout. So
you have enclosed trailer? You got open trailer?
I did just buy an enclosed trailer like a week and a half
so you
ago.
can stay the night?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to stay the night.
I'm definitely looking forward to that this weekend. Finally
Get to break out the
trailer.
So, talking about a few of the guys from Liberty Hill, right? Let's, it's kind of out there already. I think it's kind of out there. So we know Tovar's planning to go Sunday. Is that correct?
What's he taking?
I believe he's taking his S10, and I do believe Cord Chevelle's coming out there.
That was
now, there's some motor stuff that they were posting, man. Some heads, man. That stuff don't look entry level.
Well,
the motor they just put in Cord's deal?
That's a big block.
It's a big block. But
I saw some LS heads. I saw some pretty girly LS heads and freaking.
Oh, Eric's putting together a little nitrous LS motor.
Another one, right?
Possibly do for the white F-body Camaro he's got. He might be doing something with that. Kind of undecided. Yeah.
So that was the news that's what I was talking about Cord's car, right? Because Cord, there were some pictures, some teasers, if you will.
Oh, he did. He posted a video back in the day when he first got in his Chevelle with his small block.
No, they're talking about there was a video out here like recently, like they're putting like I don't know Cord's son name.
Drennan.
Yeah, so they were working on it like literally like a couple of days. I see some.
I was over there I guess it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Went over there when they fired it up for the first time.
Is that right?
It's gonna be a fun
this
little
is the,
car.
Of course it is, huh?
Yeah, so this is the event to see some nice cars come out, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be Sunday, so it's gonna be. Let's weather. We just heard some rain.
I know, man.
So
We just caught off guard.
let's go to the praying gods, right, for Sunday at least. At least it's got to be at least Saturday, because if it don't stop raining Saturday, man, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be a
be
muddy
mud
mess
hole.
out there.
It's gonna
What
be
was the other
mud
one that was closed down? There was another race that was closed down not too long ago, rescheduled. Was it?
There was one. I think it was past weekend. I don't remember what event it was. It wasn't at Little River.
No.
It was another racetrack. Anyway, XRP for Sunday.
that one?
They always have test and tune at XRP on Sundays, so they actually cancel or postpone this past Sunday because of the weather.
Yeah, it was just coming down and coming down and coming down.
Yeah. So that was the big news I was talking about. Eric, S10, Chevelle.
That's
Cord. So
classic.
Cord,
Little River stuff
that's
right
why I raced the Cord and Kenneth. Kenneth, he used to have a dark blue Chevelle. We used to race together. Back in the day. So, but that Cord's had that car for a long time.
Oh, I know. It was a while back. I went out there,
Yeah,
and that paint job is glass, man. It's a beautiful car. It's
it's
not
a gorgeous
this.
car.
You wouldn't even think it's a freaking race car if it weren't for the freaking slicks or drag radios, whatever the hell he had on it. It's
That's
like, what? This is a
Eric said that if you look underneath the rear of that car, it's still got like the 12 bolt in there.
Yeah, it's still got a 12 bolt in it. Yeah,
So it's
I
still
think
got
I
12
saw
bolt.
that. Yeah. I don't know.
12 bolt and a tilt column.
Oh, god damn! Seriously.
It's a beautiful car,
Yeah.
and we all know it, right? I mean, if we had.
And
the
here
ability
we
to show-
are. Here we are with cars and no front ends racing, and you're not gonna take your front
Hey,
end
man,
off.
I wasn't
I
gonna say
cannot
nothing.
stand that.
I was not gonna say nothing, but hey,
I mean, I get why they
I
do
get
it,
it.
but
I get it, but yeah,
I will quote
that's-
Tobar in similar words. Paint your car, at least detail your car if you're gonna be out there racing. So that if it's not fast, at least it looks damn good. You
yeah,
know. So
yeah, clean, gotta be
Nah.
clean. So that's
I'm just screwing around, man.
funny you said that, because I mean it's it's like a thing now. It's like,
I've seen.
like I said,
I'm seeing more and more freaking.
well, like I said, if it works for them,
Yeah.
hey, they make it work, man. That's good, but that's not my cup of tea.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So so tell us more about the event, man. So
Anyway, going back to the June race, right? That's
Yeah.
gonna be a big event. Hopefully we can have more details about it. And I wish I was a better. I wish I had better information about the differences between the, little hitters and JV and these classes. But and again, what it comes down to
and why they came about or something.
well, it boils down to close racing. They want
Right.
to make. They don't want just one car running away with this class. So they want to cap it to make it for close racing. And that's I understand that, and that's what people like to see.
Yeah.
They don't want to see a car just blowing the doors off everybody, winning round after round, and draw car draws instead of like a ladder. I like that.
Yeah.
'Cause that gives everybody an opportunity, right? You're not running like qualifying number 1 runs number 16, right? That you draw a card, it equals out the playing field.
Gotcha.
I mean, to me,
And
anybody
so
can,
but it's according to the index.
according to the index, right?
Okay.
So you got to be within that cap
Okay.
comfortably, right?
So where do you fall in? What index are you gonna fall in?
the Top Gun.
Well, it's
deal.
Top Gun.
So Top Gun. Okay, you're talking about the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's little hitters. Little
Yeah.
hitters still cap, in which they do have like one that's not a cap. If I'm
Yeah,
not
I think it's
mistaken.
because Sleepy's got the little hitters deal, and then
Yeah.
I think Coach
Coach got one,
does
and then
the JV.
Yeah, I forget.
and-
There's
what
two
it is.
dudes.
Yeah, that's the one that's
yeah.
uncapped. I think.
Yeah, well, he has their. I think this last race they went. Biddle took the one that Biddle took his white
Right,
third gen
the
up
third
to.
gen, yeah.
I think
He
he
went
had
to the
that
finals.
494 shootout, and then he's got a no time small tire deal.
That's the thing with Coach and them do. And there's in Hollis when he had his roundup, when they run that coaches event, they drew for the cap. So it could be a 5.0, it could be a 492. That
Oh.
race was a 494.
Yeah.
So you don't know.
You don't know who you're gonna get
You
into.
don't know what you're running when they draw.
Oh,
that,
because of the cars being so fast.
yeah. So they don't want nobody to go like, hey, I got
Yes.
a tune for this.
Yeah.
So like I think right before the round,
Scramble, retune.
like they just draw that cap,
throw in the
and
next
that's gonna be
thing,
the
yeah.
cap for the rest of the night
Wow.
for that event. So, which I like that because
Yeah,
that throws your tuners off.
it does.
And anyway, but yeah, there's a coach's event. He's got his event, and then Big Sleepy. So and again, for me,
Man, there's so many ways to slice this
why, yeah,
because of the cars being fast or not necessarily that they're backpedaling, but it's just the fact that the cars when they all enter into one pool, dude, there's always about
how many cars
five
that
cars.
roundup that class that Biddle ran in? There was like 60.
Yeah, I want to say there
Yeah.
was like 60 or 70 cars in it from what I saw.
Yeah, so
And and the mile or the ET for those cars is sometimes
well, I mean,
half a second, maybe a second.
yeah, give or take. I mean, you can tell. I'm assuming I don't know if they police that or not because you
Yeah.
would think like say if somebody runs a damn 494 at like 113 miles an hour, you're like.
Yeah.
But
What
know,
happened?
if they're zinging
Yeah,
at
yeah.
100, 149, 145, you're like, okay. So I don't know how that's gone. So you think about it, people
Right.
will do that, but people will either come soft out of the hole and zinging out the back end. You can make mile an hour. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I said, when it all comes down to it, we're like I always say, get it where you fit in, right? There's something for you somewhere, right? There's a class for somebody, and whenever I take my car out, I'll get in one of those classes. I just gotta wait and see. So
And then you draw one of those cars where they throw you into something. You're
at
like,
least I'm
shit.
back in the damn seat. That's the only thing I
That's
care
all
about.
that matters.
So that's all I care. So anyway, so events going to run out the rest of the year. Pretty much anything and anything, right? You're gonna run Ennis events. You're gonna run Little River, Top End. Is there any other events that you would like to go and run that you haven't ran yet?
Have you been approached by the Mexican Association to go run in Mexico?
I have.
Nice.
I have.
And have
I've
you
been
accepted?
invited for the slow car because that slow car top end deal they do is
basically on the
it's
street.
a
It's
class
based
that
out
they
of
do it in the
Mexico,
street and
right.
they brought it
Yeah.
to the track.
Nice.
But no, I have not partaken in that.
Nah.
Very good answer. Well, I mean, discussion before, right? There's a reason. Anyway,
Bring
so-
your own super glue.
Well, like so, you've been approached, like I said, so you're noticing in that realm, right? So, top end contender, Top Gun. I say top end, Top Gun, right? Two different things, right there. You're a
Right.
contender. We wanted to bring you on because we heard your name. I've heard your name, many times. So, and by the way, this is the first time I met you. Pleasure meeting you, by the way.
Right. First time.
And
meeting you too.
it was a pleasure having you in and discussing your future endeavors and in your past. What got you into racing and
Right.
whatnot. So that's everybody likes, like you mentioned, everybody wants to know a name
Right.
with the face in a car.
So basically, he's associated with a little sleepy town with some big hitters that have been around.
Yeah,
For the longest.
and you've grown up with Cord and Eric. They've gone across the country, right?
Yeah.
They travel. They've gone to big races. So you've been associated with him, and Matt Gillum. He's definitely been in the game for a while, and like I said, little sleepy town. I mean, it's not a sleepy town. That's a booming town.
It's a
actually.
booming
That's
town.
actually a booming town.
That
Yeah.
town has blown
It's
up.
bone. It's a booming town, by the way. So Hill Country, Liberty Hill. Everybody look it up.
Yeah. By the way, was there growing up over there? Was there any local racing out there, or just everybody
Yeah.
just go to Little River?
No, it was
There wasn't nothing on the street
really
scene back
wasn't
then.
much going on. There was a couple guys that went to Little River.
Car
and it was-
shows, anything got going on out there?
Not really.
It's just like I said, it's a sleepy town when it comes to cars like that.
Wasn't
know,
a
but-
whole lot of car activity. I mean, there would be groups of buddies that get together
Yeah.
and go out on
Right.
Sundays, but
Yeah.
that's about it.
I recently saw my brother's old '69 Camaro. Somebody posted a photo in the downtown area. I'm like, damn, that's my brother's car. It's way the frick out in Liberty Hill. I never would have assumed that
It's way out there.
it'd be out there. But obviously, there's a little club hangout. It wasn't that many, like maybe 5 cars. But so I don't know. Are you part of a club over there? Cars show anything?
Nah, just like the group that lives in Liberty Hill.
Yeah.
For a while, we were hitting it pretty hard. Now it's a little more seldom, but we'd hit up Hardy and Corona on Sunday mornings and have breakfast. Drive. I mean, if we're in the mood to drive a race car, we'll drive it up there. And
Yeah. That's
cool. I mean, that's kind of a benefits of. I mean, not necessarily living in a small town, but you can cruise it.
I seen his old truck just go down Main on Taylor, about a couple of weekends ago. I'm like, ah, damn, is that Buckin? He's like, nah, that was my dad.
Yeah, that was my
I think he
dad.
pulled my truck out.
Yeah, he was cruising it. Like I said, even Taylor. I mean, back in the day, I say back in the day like I'm fucking old, but there was like 2 or 3 cops in Taylor. You used to go
Really?
fucking ride around. We were riding around 13 years old, cruising around, burning the streets, corners up, burning tires up.
That's crazy.
2 cops. when you get pulled over, they say, "Hey, just leave the truck there, walk home." Okay.
Not in Austin.
Don't give me a ticket.
They heard exhaust in Austin. They're gonna pull you over and make sure you drive your car back home. I'm like, God damn! Can't I just enjoy a weekend of cruising?
Yeah, leave me alone.
Yeah.
So anyway, so man, again, we got the ins and outs of Dylan, right?
There we go.
In your history of cars, and I like the progression of your car because you did a lot of work on that car just by what you talked about. From that time period of the way you described it was.
Yeah.
From when you bought it to you taking it out for a drive.
But how many years do you have with that car already going on?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Just a year and a half. Wow, that's
dude. You got some track miles on it, so.
Yeah. So, do you plan on taking it to a next step?
We'll see. I mean, I've got desires to build a 4-second car at some point, but my car just is too good where it is.
Right.
I mean, like I said, it's fun. I can cruise up down the street. I can take it to the track on a Friday night. I can, my car is still in the realm of, me and my family can go out and have fun, and I can still go run a personal best on a Friday night at Little River.
Right.
So it's fun. That's
Yeah,
all
I think once you get past that point of no return, I guess that's where the car turns into a job now.
Yeah.
And your car never moves until the next event.
That's like I said, there's a point of no return. Like I said, if you go in there and you get one day you're like, I'm gonna cut it up.
Yeah, just know when you put aluminum rods in there, man, you went too far.
Yeah,
you know that you're gonna have to come back.
That's a good point. Like there's a point of no return. So, there may be a day you may decide it, but right now, you just have fun. And, I'm with you. Or even like that car's too nice, just buy another car, right? Yeah, another car to be an intentional race car, right? And I got my street car still. Right? So that's the point where a lot of people regret.
And be glad you didn't actually drive your car because we just got hit by rain.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
It would have been sitting around here all night, for the rain to stop and follow you back home. Man.
Yeah. You got the drag radials on it?
It's got slicks on it, right?
Okay,
drag radials do not work in rain either, man.
Radio slicks, no.
You'd be at 15, 20 miles an hour. Like,
cool
but
deal,
I think we've got some old 275 regular old Dunlaps. So I'll get some tires out.
I remember Hoosier made some 275s, but I don't think they were that great. But they had like a little cheater slick notch.
Oh, I had some of those, yeah. Just
those
3 lines.
Those are,
just 3 lines, and that was it.
They're still not safe.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, so we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, everybody hear this name, Dylan Hamilton. Right? You're gonna win a race. You're gonna win some events with your car.
Keep an eye out for that.
Keep an eye out.
4 eyebrow.
Clean 4 eyebrow. And what color was blue? Is that again?
Ultra Blue Pearl or something.
Ultra Blue Pearl.
It's a Summit color.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of their
Summit.
paint.
Painted by the legend Rick
Rivera. Right?
Rick Rivera.
Is he on Locker? Where's he at?
I think he's in Bastrop.
Kinda, sorta ish.
Yeah. Okay.
So, at one point, they were all on Rutland. Back in the day, it was Dinkle,
Well, they just
all
had the
them
shop
dudes.
over there.
Yeah, they had the shop.
Yeah.
But it's the same guys, man. Same guys. Dudes still,
I remember
painted.
them from the '90s, man. Early '90s.
So if you got your car painted by that dude, man, I mean, damn. You got some history on the paint job.
So he got the paint job. He's got cord.
That's like the hot rod. You can go get a paint job from a paint guy here in town, but if you get a paint job from Rick, now you're getting a paint job from one of the direct connections to the drag racers around here from the 5112, who probably painted a few cars.
A handful of cars
that you probably wouldn't know that he.
Man, all of his race cars are beautiful, man.
Oh yeah,
like the Nuclear Frog.
Yeah.
I mean, when that first came out with that metallic green, I don't know what it was, but man, I was like, damn, that's different.
Yeah. Did he paint what's his name with the pink Chevy too?
Probably
Marquez.
Marquez. He might have, because that used to be.
That car was being built.
That used to be Al's
car.
Al's car.
Mm-hmm. I remember when it was being built, but I don't know who painted the car. That was a really nice car.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Mike paints his cars in his garage. Dude.
Oh, I know.
He might have painted
the
it.
Malibu looks pretty
Malibu.
good.
He painted his Fortune Camaro in his garage.
Third gen, the red one, right?
No, I'm sorry, it is third gen.
Yeah, he's got a big black.
Yeah, third gen. Yeah, third gen.
He might get pissed off hearing this.
I know, like.
No, man, we didn't mean that.
Yeah, Mike and Bobby, we need to get you back on, by the way. So anyway,
Yeah.
So again, Dylan, appreciate it, man, and we know you're a hard worker. You need to get to work, but want to take a shout out to you for being able to come out and sit down with us. And to end, Do you like to give any shout outs to anybody? Anybody
Right.
who helps you, that either helps sponsor you, or anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Liberty Hill, or just the racing group we got in general, I mean, I'd put them up against anybody. You know, we got Shane Bray, one of the best damn people I've ever met. You know, like I said, Matt Gillum, Eric Tobar, Cord Clark. You know, got Gumby. He never hesitates to answer the phone or, you know, answer a question I got. You know, I got Richard Smith out there. Forgot to mention him. Biddle's a great guy. He's another one of them. You know, if I've ever got a question, I can shoot him a message, and he's always willing to help. And
Gotcha.
you know, the list is, I could go on and on and on.
There's another guy out there. I don't know if you're associated with him or not, but he's got a one of the latest Corvettes. It's a black one, and he also has a Mach like a Mach 1 6970 Mustang fastback. He's from over there too.
Liberty Hill.
From Liberty Hill area. Yeah, we met him at a show, but he has some pretty nice fast freaking cars. I know him because he hung out with the Nuclear Frog guys back in the day, and me and Josh just happened to see him at a show, and he said he was from out there. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there that just kind of, you don't even know that they're out there,
But
and then you
they're
see
there.
them one day and you go, shit, we live.
Yeah, he was the first guy I seen with the Corvette with your wheels. What are your wheels called again? Your
The Ultra
yeah,
Stars.
Bitlocks, the whole thing, man. He had them special ordered. I've not seen another Corvette with those wheels on there, but he's from out there. So there's quite a bit of guys that.
Was it a white Corvette?
No, it's a black one. It's all black.
Oh, okay.
You probably haven't seen it. It's the first time. Only one and last, but he's from over there, and I'm sure Tobar and these guys hearing me talk will probably be like, "Oh, you should have plugged him in," or something we forgot. But anyway, shout out to the Liberty Hill guys.
Liberty Hill guys,
Yeah.
right? So appreciate it again, and
We'll bring all you guys back on, and if you have more out there, bring them on. And
it's just
showcase.
a fun podcast. Like I said, me and Paul do this for fun.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, it's to basically get a face associated with the car, the individual, right? So get everybody to know, because again, you're gonna hear his name, and again, we're gonna wrap it up. But again, be safe out there, everybody, and until next time, peace out.
Peace out. See you guys.
Okay, good.